You are listening to Jenni on What the Heck podcast. This is the place where I share my experience, knowledge, and skills. On to the Jenni What the Heck actually podcast. So it's nice to have you along, Jenni O. Jenni O. Now, how do you actually say your name properly? Because I've already stuffed that up.
It's Jenni Otero. It's a Puerto Rican last name.
Ooh, Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. And you're currently living in the US.
I live in Los Angeles, California.
City of Angels.
Well, something like that. City of Homeless right now.
Yeah, I reckon. Shocking. So if you aren't used to the format, I actually have over 100 cards, and I get people onto my podcast and I ask them 12 impromptu questions. And to make it more exciting for everyone, I basically pick out 12 questions that even I don't know what the next one is. So I'm just going to count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go.
Wait, I saw you cheat. Did you cheat? Oh, no, okay.
Okay, good. Secret ones over here.
Okay, good.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. And I have heard that you do a little bit of stand-up comedy, so I'm expecting a bit of humor to come prying out of this.
Okay.
All right. First question. Oh, my God. It's the one I hate the most. What's one thing about you? What's one thing about you that you would like on your eulogy? Do you have eulogies?
No. No.
It's a horrible question, but it's in my cards.
What? Why do you have that there?
Well, I'm what am I called? I'm a perfectionist, and I'm sort of like a ADHD. And I originally had 107 questions, and I accidentally lost 3 of them, and I hunted everywhere for them, so I can't throw it away because then I'll have 100.
Okay, I want to skip this time.
Yeah, you can only do that once. You can call a friend.
Okay,
right.
I'm skipping.
Okay, so what is an eulogy? That's the thing you put on your tombstone, isn't it?
Yes. Well, I can't even think what I would. I don't even want a tombstone. So,
can I have a guess that the tombstone, if you had a choice, you would have pink?
That would be pretty good, right? A big pink.
All right, let's go with that.
With hair on it, with a big pink, just hair on the top.
Okay. You have to get somebody to go along there regularly and comb it and keep it straight and put a bit of that squirty stuff on it. But let's get rid of that question, and hopefully I accidentally might lose that one and I'll be able to handle it. All right, this is a goodie because you're American. This is my favorite. Okay, here we go.
Okay, go ahead.
If you ruled the world, what would you change on day one?
Geez, if I ruled the world, what would I change on day one? I would want everybody to laugh. Day one, everybody needs to laugh. Everybody needs to just get that negative energy that's surrounding everything and just laugh at whatever's going on. That's how, if I could rule the world, I would want everybody to laugh just so it feels so good, that energy coming out and everybody doing it together. If you can imagine just being in a stadium laughing, it's that, but around the world.
Do you have in Christchurch we had a wee organisation that it was like a school of laughter, and they actually used to go to the park and they just stand there holding hands, laughing.
Yes, it's called laugh therapy.
There you go. That's funny. Okay, all right. Is there anything that you wished would come back into fashion?
Muumuus.
Okay.
Muumuus are, they're an Afghan. They're old lady Afghans. They're just really like a sack. Like, did you have Three's Company in New Zealand? Okay, do you remember Mrs. Roper? Did you have Three's Company in New Zealand? Okay, do you remember Mrs. Roper?
I know the name, but I can't remember what she wore.
Okay, she wore these Afghan, these they're called muumuus. They're just like an ugly just dress that's really baggy. Is that like a house dress?
Oh, like a tent.
Yeah, it's like a tent, just like that, and you just walk around like that, and that's very fashionable.
Oh, right. No, when I go tramping, I take a poncho, so I'm envisioning that.
Yeah, similar to that, but it's a dress. It's just
okay. And you wish that come back into fashion?
Yeah, then just so comfortable, right?
Okay, all right. Not for a guy.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, great for a guy or girl. Anybody can wear a muumuu, and it's called a muumuu. It's hilarious.
I'm just back going to read you the same question again, but won't do that.
No.
All right, here's one that's a wee bit personal, but who knows you the best?
Actually, my boyfriend knows me the best. Right. My boyfriend does know me the best. He knows too much about me. the most frightening things about me, things that probably nobody should ever know about me, that would probably put me in jail, the thoughts that I have. So yeah, he knows too much about me. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's a safe person, isn't it, really? Because I
Yes.
presume you feed him sometimes. So
Yeah.
you hold over him
Yes.
and you can manipulate him.
I know I do not. He's so nice. We talk. We're actually very close. That's how I'm able to be so open with him about anything and
Well, I was
any
talking to
crazy
him
thing.
yesterday, actually.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. He told me a whole lot of things.
Oh, did he? Oh, he told me every.
No,
Don't.
you're
He
right.
told you about the weird porn, didn't he? Oh.
Oh my God, she mentioned the porn word. All right. Okay, I've got, remind me to go through the questions as I ask them, because I just about did it again. Oh yeah. Okay. Now here's a good one. I guarantee you speak 2 languages, but you probably won't realize this. But how many languages do you speak?
Well, I speak English and then I speak English because
English.
I cannot speak either one very well.
Yeah.
I am very terrible at English. I get tongue-tied, so I have to try to pronounce my words because I had a lisp when I was a child. But
Oh,
in California, Los Angeles, most people do speak multiple languages. Usually Spanish is the second language, but
yep.
we have Armenian, Persian, Russian are all spoken here in this area.
Because I'm dyslexia and I use voice recognition to type 90% of my messages. So what that has helped me, if I can't get the word onto my device, then I need to work on my pronunciation and be more clearer. So it's helped me be a better speaker in a way.
That's good.
Yeah. And another wee side story there, I've interviewed 2 people who train people to be public speakers,
Mm-hmm.
and they both say there's 2 languages that everyone speak, and the other one is body language.
Yes.
And I think,
Actually, I do speak good body language. I
yeah,
really, and I actually read good body language.
yeah.
I know when people don't like me. That's the first body language I know.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, and I think with Zoom, it's really tested a lot of that actually,
Yes.
because you're only talking with your head upright, and then with your
Mm-hmm.
mask on as well. A lot of people are wearing it's just
Yes,
all about
having
eye contact.
it's having a hard time talking to people with a mask on because you can't
Mhm.
see if they're smiling or not, or if they're angry at you. So you're trying
Yeah,
to read their eyes, and depends if they have glasses on. You can't. I forgot how people look when they smile around a market or anything. You're just walking around. You're like, oh, sorry, and they can't hear you. Nobody can hear each other. You know, the
yeah,
social niceties have gone away a bit
yeah.
with the mask and not being able to hear.
The upside of it is when they brush their teeth and they forget to get that white bit out of the corner of their mouth, we don't see
Yeah.
that anymore.
Nope.
All right. Let's see. Okay, here's one. What was the last movie you went to see, and what did you think about it? Now, what I know this is we can't use Netflix because everyone's watching them every night now. So you got to think, when
No,
was the
you
last
mean
time you
in
got
the
dressed
movie
up?
theater. The last was Downhill with Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Okay.
It was a really, I really liked the movie. It's about a couple that had a problem that the husband left his wife went during a time that there was an avalanche and he thought he was going to die and he ran off and left her there with the kids, and then nothing happened. The avalanche didn't fall on them and he came back and
Yeah.
acted like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And so the whole movie's about their marriage now changing because he was willing to leave his family to die and not even take them with him.
So it
So
would have
they're
been good if the avalanche did happen.
yes,
For him.
it was quite funny. I mean, it was quite dark, but it was funny. I liked it. That was the last movie I saw in the movie theater.
All right. Here's another one. What are your hobbies?
I do creative writing.
Okay.
Starting to I do meetups, my meetups. I do a community service or my own community service. I like to give to the community on my own. So I go out and I search out little things to do for people. I spend a lot of time talking to people that need help or just need a friend.
Yeah.
Those are my hobbies. But
Yeah,
a
cool.
lot of it is creative writing. I do go to houses and it's a little secret thing. I give people that decorate their houses during Christmas, a Christmas card to thank them for decorating their houses for Christmas.
Okay. And do you blog?
I do not blog. I have not
Yeah.
started blogging, but I have not even put my creative writing up. It's kind of obscure and weird, but it's quite funny. I think people would like it. I'll put it up soon. Maybe one or
Yeah.
2 stories. They're very short, very, very short. I write stories within like 10 minutes.
Okay,
full
I think
story.
that's the ideal blog. A good blog is around about 450 words. Any more than that, you might as well write a book.
Yep.
Yeah, no, well done. I
Not
like that.
gonna,
It's great expressing yourself. It's funny when you're dyslexic. Reading and writing is really, really hard. And I got
yes.
tested with a reading level of a 9.3-year-old, which I thought was quite good. However, I still like to express myself in words.
Yes.
You know, and it's quite soothing in a way. Sorry. Okay. When are you the happiest?
I'm the happiest when I'm around my ex-Jehovah's Witness friends.
Yeah.
It's a community that we all share together of being an ex-Jehovah's Witness, and I think I'm happiest and brightest there. That I think I feel like I shine the most is to be able to hear people's stories and relate to them and understand where they're at. And I find that we all have something in common in finding our village, our people, and that's where I'm happiest.
Yeah. What horrifies me every time I hear a story, I think, oh my goodness, there's another one, and it's not unlike our own stories. And so you realize that it's just so, you know, it's like a car factory. At the end of the factory, it seems to be poking out the same vehicles every time.
Yes.
Because, you know, and we're the vehicles, and we can't change the make and model that we are sometimes.
Yeah, it's an experience. It's transformed my life a lot being part of this community.
Yeah, I've only really started in the last couple of months, so it's actually after 28 years of being away from it. Now I'm more outspoken. I had a meeting with a guy this morning, and he said the reason why he doesn't like getting on Zoom and Facebook is he's got a sister that still communicates with him, and if he starts putting himself out there, then he will become a apostate, as they say, and he'll lose that connection with her.
I'm also afraid of that as well. My mother is still in. She lives with me. She does not know what I do, but I think she may or may not, but she very much accepts me and my ex-Jehovah's Witness friends. She doesn't shun any of them. I'm very lucky to have a mother like that.
Yeah, I am. Okay, do you like gifts?
Do I like gifts?
Yeah.
Like gifts? Like a gift or a gift?
Yeah,
Like
let's say if I gave you a gift, do you like?
oh yes, I love gifts. I am not used to them, but I get them and I start crying. I start crying when I get a gift. I don't know what to do with it because I think being raised in the organization, we get gifts only on certain occasions, baptism, if you get married, you know, but not all the time, or if you just get one. So getting gifts on certain times, I get real shocked, and sometimes I'll have to walk. Even if somebody says thank me, if a group of people thank me, I have to walk away to cry.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Because I am just not used to that sort of thing.
I don't have any joy for birthdays or Christmas, and people want to get excited, and I'm going.
I had my first Christmas last year. First Christmas at a family with a tree and stuff under a tree, and I'm 41 years old. Wow. So
that's crazy.
I obviously cried. Huh?
People can't comprehend what that is actually.
No, I cried. I cried. I was crying and I try to make it the best Christmas for the family as well. Because I wanted
this question is probably going to be a hard case one, and I'll be interested to know how you go about answering it. So, what's the worst gift you have ever been given? Because it sounds like every gift is
a bad joke.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Somebody tried to give me a joke as a gift, and I was like, "This is a terrible joke. Please take it back." It was just a written joke, and I was like, "Could you just give me a fortune cookie? I would have been happier." Yeah. I tell my boyfriend that you do not come back in here if you are not going to be funny. If you're going to take everything serious, so if you give me a bad joke, that is the worst gift you can give me.
Yeah.
Okay. It's silly. It's a silly thing, but just don't give me a bad joke.
Yeah. Oh, here's a nicer one. How would your friends describe you? How do you think people see you?
A little weird. Yeah. Eccentric, maybe. Nice, direct. Some would say I could be a leader at times. I'm an organizer. I'm always there. I think I'm very helpful to the community. I think people recognize that if they need something, they can come to me. So I think people would say maybe I'm kind. I'm very kind to an extent that I have to have somebody stop my kindness because I don't know when to stop. So if somebody does something bad, I wouldn't know. I need them to say, that's not a good person. I need to recognize the differences.
So you're the very last person that gets looked after by yourself?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
No good in an airplane then, you know, when they say the bags fall down, put it on your face first, and then, you know.
I would give away the bag first.
Yeah. I watched a TV documentary about why they say that. And apparently if you tried to put the mask on the child first instead of yourself, you only have like something a few seconds before you get overwhelmed. And I use this to anyone, but I haven't had that problem yet. And I haven't really seen too many planes with those masks.
I know.
Safely anyway.
I know. Well, everybody has the mask on right during the pandemic, remember?
Yeah.
The mask, they're not wearing them anymore, remember? Everybody had hazmat suits on.
Yeah. All right. Here's down to the last two questions, and we'll ask a wee bit more about you and who you are. But let's say if you were to share a meal with any individuals, living or dead, when they were alive, who would that be? Who would you like to have a meal with?
Jesus and Hitler.
I've used Hitler before, but not them together.
Yes, Jesus and Hitler.
You've taken two for dinner.
Yes, yeah, you said two, right? I can take two, right? Jesus and Hitler. I have a lot of questions. And would I need a translator for both?
Ah, yeah, true. Never thought of that. Do you think Hitler would be saying, "How do you find the beardy, Jesus?"
I would want to know if the first thing he would ask, "Are you a Jew?"
Yeah, so Hitler would be quite interesting. Hitler would be quite interesting in a way because theoretically he managed to get a whole country behind him at one stage. So he must be talented.
Yeah, but Jesus got the whole world behind him.
Yes and no.
yes and no, but he made a whole religion that lasted.
Yeah. Did they write a book about Hitler? Anyway, last question: are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Introvert, extrovert, both. So I can be both.
Okay.
I can be indoors or outdoors. It just depends. That's how my personality. I'm more introverted. So when this happened, the pandemic, it was very easy for me. But then the extrovert side needed to burst out. So introvert, extrovert.
That's cool. Well, I'm done with the questions. I'm just sort of curious with because we're in New Zealand. We've been locked out. We got locked down for 4 weeks. And now we're living pretty much normal life, and we're relying on our government to make sure they don't let people in through the borders. But you're in lockdown now, aren't you?
Gavin Newsom has just opened up restaurants, so we can finally go back to eating at restaurants. I don't think nail salons and hair salons have opened up yet. I am unclear, but no, it has not gone back to normal life. We still have to eat outdoors. We have outdoor seating. Lines are long. A certain amount of people can go into stores at a time. They count. Everything's sanitized. Stuff has to close down to be cleaned. But I mean, a lot of it is normal. We've just gotten used to this sort of way of living right now.
Yeah.
And not seeing friends. We don't really see them very often. When we do, you try to social distance, and that's even hard. I mean, to be honest, I've seen my friends without masks. A lot of us have, but most people just don't admit it. We all pretend like that didn't happen. But we go to lunch and we're eating around other people. But they at first they had the mask. They had the waiters have shields over their face. Gloves on, tied up gloves all over the hands, and a mask.
Wow.
To serve you. And then all there's no silverware. It's like it's silverware. Like anything's mostly throw away, not really washed. There's no menus. Really, you have to scan a menu with your phone.
All right.
So there's a lot of stuff going.
Pointless eating out. The main reason would be maybe to support the restaurant owner.
Well, you can eat. I mean, we're happy to meet your friends out. Go sit somewhere and get some coffee or just eat out. Something new. I love to eat out. I went to Vegas recently and I love eating there.
When I went to Las Vegas, I remember hitchhiking into Las Vegas, and it was a truck driver called Randy. It was 20 years ago. and he dropped me off in the old Las Vegas. And then this taxi driver came along and said, look, it's too dangerous for you guys to be hanging around here. We'll give you a lift. So he took us into the new Las Vegas.
Oh,
But
I love to go to Las Vegas. I get a timeshare. You know what a timeshare? Oh yeah, I get a timeshare. You do the timeshare presentation.
Okay.
So you know how they try to sell you a timeshare in the most frightening way. So me and my boyfriend love to do the timeshare presentations. Nobody else does. I love it. So the last one we went to, which was recently, I told my boyfriend that, okay, before we go in, we're going to have a story. So as soon as the guy started talking about the timeshare, I look at my boyfriend and I look at the guy and I say, I can't get this timeshare. I just found out I was pregnant 2 hours ago and I just don't want this baby. And the guy was like, what? Like I've never heard that before. How did you? I was like, yeah, my doctor called me this morning. I really wanted to get this timeshare. And then I'm starting to hit my boyfriend. You knocked me up, like hitting him. And the guy is very freaked out about this whole thing.
Like, no shit.
And he wasn't sure if I was joking or not. So he's going through the presentation. He's like, I have to keep going through it. And I'm sitting there going, what are we going to do? We don't have the money for this. We don't. So I'm going through this whole story for this poor guy. He's starting to shake. Wow. And he's like, well, you should keep the baby. And I'm like, that's not what we wanted.
Is that all because you wanted the free lunch?
No, they give you $150. Or 7 days free stay at another timeshare.
Oh right. Oh, that's pretty
cool. So you go.
Well, so we've had the free breakfast in Surfers Paradise in Australia, and they'll pick you up from your hotel in a limousine. But then the problem was the breakfast presentation took 2 hours. Yes. And by the time you finish your breakfast, you're just about due for lunch, and you've wasted half your day on a holiday.
Yeah.
They didn't get that was pretty generous, but that's quite common in Australia. They have I don't think it's timeshare, but they have these apartments they want you to buy and
it's so similar. Yeah, similar to that. Ours you get 7 days at another timeshare.
Cool.
So for free. Or you get $150 or other gifts. And so I always like to do it just because we like to mess with them and have some fun.
Yeah, good on you. Right. And I've noticed I've only really been chatting to you for about 4 or 6 weeks, but I've noticed that you're on a lot of you're obviously an ex-Jehovah's Witness like myself. That's our common interest. And we've bumped into you in a few Zoom meetings, and you run quite a few different Zoom meetings helping people get their stories out, really, isn't it?
Yes, I do. I just started a new one for the LGBTQ community. It's an Ex-Jehovah's Witness meetup for the LGBT community online. Everyone's invited. There's just sign up and it's free. It's 2 hours long. We have our regular meetup, XJW. Doesn't matter if you're LGBTQ, doesn't matter what you are. Everyone is invited to that. I think I'm starting to do host XJW comedy. I just talked to some Elsazar, and we're setting that up. Don't know the specifics. I do that. I also am facilitating people in the community to talk to other people that need them. So when people contact me, I may not be the person that needs to help them. Maybe they have a specific problem. And I've talked to so many people. I send them to a person that I know that can help them to get the support that they need. I support a lot of friends that need it.
I call myself a connector because I know a lot of people. And that sounds like what you're doing the same sort of deal, really, is you're just pointing people in the right direction because you're social, you know a lot of people, you listen to what they need and point them in the right direction.
Especially because our group is non-denominational, so we don't have a lot of Christians, and I don't want to bring a Christian or somebody with that faith, an Ex-Jehovah's Witness, into the group, and then have them hear how we talk. How we don't like it. I want them to go to a place where they feel safe. It's all for their safety and their healing after being in the organization.
So you mean like when you've got people in the group and you talk about the governing body or the anointed slave?
No, or we talk about
what it means.
They know what it means, but they're also they transition from being an Ex-Jehovah's Witness to maybe a Jehovah's Witness for Jesus, an ex-Jehovah's Witness for Jesus, or an ex-Jehovah's Witness for Christ, or Christian. So they've transitioned to a new religion where I have not transitioned to a new religion.
Yeah.
We've
I've got a
decided.
wee catch line I really like, and it's thank God I'm an atheist. But, it sort of explains it. But yeah, I don't know. It's a funny old one. But like I said, it's like a car factory, and at the other end of the factory, poking out all these vehicles that have got a common interest. It's quite nice to sort of meet in the car park, so to speak, and find there is other people out there who have a common interest and know the lingo, as you say. And
It's very helpful. It has been very therapeutic for myself. I've been doing it for about 2 years. I've built up our group with my actually the person that started the group, Gina. She kind of passed it a little bit on to me, and she hosts a lot online, but in person we both host. And then in person, actually, when we used to meet in person, I host, because if she can't make it. But we've built so big that sometimes the group, which I think you were at the last group that we had, and that was a pretty large crowd for an online group to talk. So I have to set rules and boundaries and have to write those out to make sure everybody knows, how this is run.
I think it's quite good. I have done one Zoom meeting with over 60 people in it. But we had a speaker who come along and did a talk, and people were just listening. But the different, I think when you get past, 12, 20 people, and you get somebody who has a dominating person in the group, you need to be able to sort of shut them off and sort of take control of the meeting and bring it back to the theme. One that we're doing quite well at the moment, I have a think tank meeting for my business networking people. And at the end of each meeting, we come up with next week's theme. And then every now and again, I make that meeting into 4 parts. And if it starts going pear-shaped, I bring it back to and it seems to, every now and again we get off track. And then I have to think, I'm facilitating this, but I was watching you do it, and you're bringing people back in time, and in respects of time, we need to move around, even though they started up a...
I moderate. Yes, I'm a really good moderator of time and time management of the group, and just making sure we all stay on track. Even though I am like a very loud personality, when you meet me online or talk to me, or if I need to, be that person, just because I don't want people to feel like I'm yelling at them. We just all have the rules, and we just all have to follow them. Or else, you're going to get disfellowshipped, and then I'll have to shun you, and we don't want to go there.
I like to be on the committee this time. It's pretty cool. I quite like the fact that you said you're getting into doing the comedian stuff, because I did go on to Ex-Jehovah comedian, and they had quite a good format in a way, because they had 3 comedians, and then they got to do their talks, and it was a comedy act. It was really, really good. And I'm actually interviewing Jay, the comedian, next. I'm really looking forward to that. There's some good stuff happening in this community, which I've just sort of started sticking my nose in. And there's also a movie being made at the moment.
Yes, I told you about that. Yes, it's called The Truth About the Truth. It's Lloyd Evans, Javier Ortiz. Those are the guys. And then Juan Escobar. I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name. I think the Cliff Henderson is in it. The fifth, who you're interviewing. My friend Gina, is in it. Tony Duchesne. A lot of people that have come out that are well known are in that video. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Hey, look, I really appreciate coming along, spending some of your time with me. I'm only a new podcaster, so you're not going to get celebrity status unless I get famous. Let's hope.
I don't need celebrity status. I'm perfectly fine being me.
Yeah, but it's been a pleasure having you on, and I'll also include the links to your is it your meetup group or your Facebook page?
It's go to my meetup group, set it to my meetup group or my Facebook page, either one.
So what's your meetup group actually called?
It's the Los Angeles Ex-Jehovah's Witness meetup.
Right, I'll link it to that very words, because I scribed this into text afterwards as well, so I'll link it through to there. And is your Facebook group also called the same?
We don't have a Facebook group. It's only on meetups.com, because that's the easiest way to find us.
Yeah, Meetup's brilliant, actually. And if anyone's watching this and they're lonely, meetup.com, you go there and you basically fill out your profile, and then it brings in all the local groups that get together. in your neighborhood,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
worldwide. I built up a tramping, hiking, dinner social group, and I did it for about 8 years myself using Meetup. And it's a
Yeah.
brilliant way of lonely people finding some really nice people who've got
Yeah.
common interests.
Yeah, it's great because I mean, I'm bipolar and I suffer from depression myself.
Yep.
And finding my family, this week I suffered a very hard just downward turn, and I had my whole community stand up for me, and it was the reason I'm able to even be here on this interview today, because it was a very bad downfall for me, because I'm usually very strong, but I had an avalanche of stuff happen at once.
Yep.
And they all just came for me. And it was, and I want to cry because it was just so amazing to see you reached out.
Yeah.
I had people call me. I have flowers in it was
an
amazing
quite funny
experience.
in a way. Watching it, it's nice to be able to say it, and then people react, and it gives you, because it is what people think can help, and people can do a lot with their words.
Yeah. And I usually don't reach out. But my boyfriend did reach out, and I did say a little bit online, and then I had a floodgate of people, and I cannot imagine if I did not have that, where I would probably be in the hospital if it wasn't for that. So it's amazing the support that you get once you join your family and you find your village.
Yeah, and I've seen a couple of comments like that with other people who get onto these new Facebook pages and they pour out their story, and they said they've lost their whole family. And I say, well, we're your family now. And I've seen some of your comments as well, where you've actually told people, we're here for you. And that's just absolutely awesome.
I always ask people, will you be my friend?
Yeah, yeah.
Or I claim them as my friend. I don't even give them a choice. You're my new friend. Now let's talk.
Right. That's been awesome having you on. Now, do you want to conclude in prayer?
I cannot. I did not bring a head covering for this. And I have to go clean the bathrooms immediately. Right.
All right. Well, let's just be naughty and we won't conclude with prayer. But as I've said, it's been awesome having you along. And I'm going to stop the recording.
Thank you. Bye-bye.